There are houses that just by looking at them make your heart beat faster than normal. I'm talking about places where survival isn't just a skill, it's a daily reality etched into the very rock. Forget manicured lawns and picket fences. Imagine living where there is no flat ground, no safe paths, no protective barriers. Your front door opens to a sheer drop, your balcony is a precipice, and the wind is a constant reminder of the void below. This is life on the absolute edge, a world away from everything we consider safe and secure. These houses cling to vertical cliffs, hanging in midair with an abyss of hundreds of meters directly below. They are masterpieces of human engineering and sheer nerve, built in places most would deem impossible, let alone habitable. Living here demands a unique kind of respect for your environment, where every step must be deliberate, every movement calculated. A single slip isn't just an accident. It's the end. The stakes couldn't be higher. This is where humanity's instinct for survival is tested against the raw, unforgiving power of nature. These are the most dangerous hanging houses on the planet. I've been to some of the world's most extreme environments, but these places push the boundaries of what it means to live. Join us as we explore the most impressive and terrifying cliff dwellings on Earth. We'll journey to remote corners of the globe, from ancient monasteries to entire villages carved into stone. These are places where humankind not only defies nature, but also its own fear. Stay with me. This is going to be an incredible journey. Our first stop takes us to Spain, to the historic city of Cuenca. At first glance, it's a beautiful, ancient town. But look closer at the edge of the gorge carved by the Yuca River, and you'll see something truly extraordinary. The famous Casas Colgadas, or hanging houses, are an incredible feat of medieval engineering. These aren't just built near the edge. They are part of the edge, their wooden balconies jutting out over a sheer drop of 50 to 80 meters. It's a gut-wrenching sight. Imagine waking up here centuries ago. You open your shutters, and there's nothing but air between you and the riverbed far below. The architects who designed these structures were masters of their craft, using the limestone cliff itself as the foundation. They carved directly into the rock, creating multi-story dwellings that seem to grow organically from the precipice. It's a raw, powerful statement of human determination, a refusal to be limited by the landscape. To move between these homes, you'd have to navigate a labyrinth of narrow passageways and steep, winding staircases, all carved into the same unforgiving stone. There's no room for error here. Every path is a potential hazard, every corner a reminder of the immense drop just inches away. This wasn't built for comfort. It was built for defense and for survival, using the gorge as a natural fortress against any potential invaders. The genius of Cuenca is how the structures blend into the landscape. From a distance, they almost disappear. Their stone and timber construction mirroring the colors and textures of the cliff face. This is a perfect example of adaptation, of humans not just conquering a hazardous terrain, but becoming one with it. It's a delicate balance between human ingenuity and the raw power of the natural world. Living here would require a constant state of awareness. The sound of the wind whistling through the gorge, the creak of the ancient timbers, the feeling of being suspended in mid-air. It would all become part of your daily existence. You'd have to trust the work of builders from centuries past. Trust that the rock beneath you would hold firm against the forces of erosion and time. These aren't just houses, they are vertical communities. The residents here shared a unique bond, forged by their shared, precarious existence. Children would have learned from a young age to respect the edge, to understand the life and death consequences of a single misstep. It's a harsh but effective teacher. The very environment breeds a deep-seated caution and resilience. The materials used were what the land provided. Limestone from the cliff itself, pine wood from the surrounding forests. This is sustainable building in its most primal form. There were no heavy machines, no advanced cranes, just human muscle, raw courage, and an incredible understanding of physics and materials. all working together to create something that defies belief even today. Visiting Cuenca, you can feel the history in the stone. You can almost hear the echoes of the people who lived, worked, and raised families on this knife edge. It's a powerful testament to our species' ability to adapt and thrive in the most challenging environments imaginable. These hanging houses are more than just architecture. They are a symbol of human tenacity. Now we journey south to the scorching heat of the Nubian desert in Egypt. Here, originally perched high above the life-giving Nile, stood the Temple of Kalabsha. While it was moved in the 1960s to save it from the rising waters of Lake Nasser, its original location tells a story of survival and strategic genius. Imagine this monumental structure sitting on a sandstone base, a fortress of faith looking down on the river valley. It was a position of immense power. The ancient Egyptians and later the Romans who completed it understood the landscape. Placing the temple high on the cliff wasn't just for dramatic effect. It served two critical survival purposes. Firstly, it protected this sacred place from the annual destructive floods of the Nile, which could wipe out anything built on the floodplain. Secondly, the elevated position provided a commanding view of the surrounding area, making it an easily defensible stronghold against enemies. The architecture itself is a fascinating blend of cultures, a fusion of traditional Egyptian pharaonic design and later Roman influences. You can see it in the grand pylons, the open courtyards, and the detailed reliefs carved into the walls. But it's the choice of material that truly connects it to its environment. The entire temple is built from pale yellow sandstone, quarried from the nearby cliffs. This choice was brilliant. Under the harsh Egyptian sun, the stone almost glows, but from a distance it merges beautifully with the arid desert landscape. It doesn't fight the environment, it becomes part of it. This harmony between the man-made and the natural is a theme we see again and again in these incredible cliff structures. It's a deep, instinctual understanding of how to belong in a place. Imagine being a priest here thousands of years ago. Your daily rituals would be framed by the vastness of the desert and the endless sky. The temple wasn't just a building, it was an anchor in a wild and unforgiving world. It was a place where religion, art, and the raw reality of nature converged. The height would have given a sense of being closer to the gods, suspended between the earth and the heavens. The construction would have been a monumental undertaking. Huge blocks of sandstone, weighing many tons, had to be quarried, transported, and lifted into place on a precarious cliffside. This required incredible organization, manpower, and a level of engineering skill that is simply mind-boggling. It speaks to a society with a powerful, unifying belief and the will to express it in the most challenging way possible. The reliefs inside tell stories of gods and pharaohs, but the temple's very existence tells a story of human ingenuity. It's a narrative of controlling water, defending territory, and creating a lasting legacy in a landscape defined by impermanence, shifting sands and flooding rivers. The cliff was the one constant, the one reliable foundation upon which they could build something eternal. Kalabsha is a masterclass in using the terrain to your advantage. It's a physical representation of the desire for permanence and security in a world of constant threats. By building high, its creators weren't just escaping the floods, they were making a statement. They were declaring their dominance over the natural forces and their devotion to their gods, carving it into the very bones of the earth for all time. Our next journey takes us to the otherworldly landscape of northwestern Iran, to a village that looks like it was sculpted by giants. This is Kandovan, a place that defies easy description. The homes here are not built, but excavated. They are carved directly into bizarre conical rock formations made of volcanic tuff, remnants of an ancient eruption from Mount Sahand. The entire village looks like a colossal termite colony, a surreal and completely natural-looking settlement. For over 700 years, people have called these caves home. The decision to live here was born from pure survival instinct. The volcanic rock, known as tuff, is soft enough to be carved with simple tools but incredibly durable. More importantly, It's a phenomenal insulator. In a region that experiences brutally harsh winters and scorching summers, these cave dwellings maintain a comfortable, stable temperature year-round. It's nature's own climate control system. The architecture, if you can call it that, is minimalist to the extreme. The inhabitants worked with the shapes the volcano gave them. They hollowed out living spaces, bedrooms, and storage areas inside the cones, often spanning multiple floors connected by precarious internal stairways. Windows and doors are small punctures in the rock face, just big enough to let in light and air, but small enough to maintain the structural integrity and insulation. From the outside, the village merges almost perfectly with the surreal landscape. It's the ultimate camouflage. This provided excellent protection from invaders throughout its long history. An approaching army might not even realize they were looking at a settlement until it was too late. This is a community that doesn't impose itself on the environment. It disappears into it, a perfect strategy for long-term survival in a volatile region. Life in Kandovan is a communal affair, dictated by the unique layout of the village. The cones are clustered together, creating a network of shared courtyards and winding, narrow paths that follow the natural contours of the land. This fosters a tight-knit community where neighbors rely on each other. It's a social structure that has been shaped directly by the geology of the place. Imagine the skill and patience required to carve your home out of solid rock. Each scoop of debris, carried out by hand, was a step towards creating a safe, permanent shelter for your family. This isn't about grand design, it's about practical, intimate creation. The walls of your home are the living rock of the earth itself. There's an incredibly powerful, primal connection in that. The interiors are surprisingly complex. What looks like a simple cone from the outside can contain a multi-story home with separate rooms for living, sleeping, and keeping livestock during the harsh winters. The natural acoustics of the caves create a quiet, peaceful atmosphere, a sanctuary from the often windy conditions outside. It's a completely self-contained world. Kandovan represents a perfect symbiosis between humanity and a unique geological event. The people here didn't see an inhospitable, rocky landscape. They saw an opportunity. They saw shelter, security, and a chance to build a lasting community. It's a powerful lesson in looking at a challenging environment, and instead of trying to conquer it, finding a way to work with it, to become part of its very fabric. We're heading into one of the most desolate and spiritually charged landscapes on Earth, the Judean Desert. Clinging to the sheer rock face of the Kidron Valley Canyon is a structure that seems to defy gravity itself. This is the Mar Saba Monastery. Founded over 1,500 years ago, it's one of the oldest continuously inhabited monasteries in the world. And its position is absolutely breathtaking and, honestly, a bit terrifying. Mar Saba is suspended between 150 and 200 meters above the gorge floor. That's like living on the 50th floor of a skyscraper, but your skyscraper is a sun-blasted cliff in the middle of nowhere. The monastery wasn't built here for the view. It was built for isolation. Saint Sabas, its founder, sought a place far from the distractions of the world, a place where he and his followers could pursue a life of extreme spiritual devotion and asceticism. He certainly found it. The structure is an incredible maze of chapels, cells, and terraces that seem to be glued to the canyon wall. It cascades down the cliff, following the natural lines of the rock. It wasn't built from a single blueprint. It grew organically over centuries. Monks would find a small cave or a ledge, build a cell, and over time, these individual hermitages were connected by a dizzying network of stone staircases and narrow, winding walkways. Just looking at it makes your palms sweat. There are no safety rails to speak of. A moment of inattention, a trip on a worn stone step, could have fatal consequences. This constant low-level danger was part of the life here. It was a physical manifestation of the spiritual discipline the monks practiced. A constant awareness, a focus on the present moment, because the alternative was a fall into the abyss. The construction is a testament to unwavering faith and sheer human grit. Imagine hauling stone, timber, and water up these vertical cliffs, using nothing but ropes and brute strength. Every single block of this monastery represents an act of extreme effort and devotion. The monks who built this were not just constructing a building, they were creating a spiritual fortress, a bastion against the temptations of the outside world. The environment is relentlessly harsh. The Judean desert is a place of extreme heat, scarce water, and flash floods that can rage through the canyon below. Survival here depends on careful resource management and a deep understanding of the desert's rhythms. The monks of Mar Saba became masters of this, collecting rainwater in ancient cisterns and living a life of extreme simplicity. The monastery is a self-sufficient ecosystem on a cliff. The blue-domed churches stand out against the pale, ochre-colored rock, beacons of faith in a vast, empty wilderness. From a distance, the monastery looks almost like a natural feature, a strange crystallization on the cliff face. It's another example of a structure that has become one with its extreme environment, shaped by both the landscape and the profound spiritual goals of its inhabitants. To live at Mar Saba is to accept a life on the edge in every sense of the word, geographically, physically, and spiritually. It is a place designed to strip away everything but the essential. It's a raw, powerful, and deeply challenging environment, and the fact that it has been continuously inhabited for 1,500 years is nothing short of a miracle of human endurance and faith. Now we climb high, very high, into the Indian Himalayas. Our destination is the Diskit Monastery in the remote Nubra Valley of Ladakh. This isn't just a building on a mountain, it's a structure that seems to crown the very summit. Perched atop a high, craggy promontory at an elevation of over 3,100 meters, that's over 10,000 feet, Diskit is a spiritual anchor in a vast, windswept, and high-altitude desert. The first thing that strikes you is the sheer verticality of the place. The monastery's buildings are terraced, rising in tiers up the rocky outcrop, culminating in a fortress-like structure at the very peak. It looks less like it was built and more like it erupted from the rock itself. The whitewashed walls and red-topped roofs stand in stark contrast to the brown and gray tones of the surrounding mountains, making it visible for miles. Getting here is an ordeal in itself. The air is thin, the winds are relentless, and the paths leading up to the monastery are steep and exposed. For the monks who live here, this challenging ascent is a daily reality, a form of walking meditation. It reinforces the monastery's separation from the world below, a physical journey that mirrors the spiritual one. This is not a place you simply stumble upon. You have to earn your arrival. Founded in the 14th century, Diskit's location was, as always, strategic. It commands a breathtaking panoramic view of the entire Shyok River Valley. This high ground provided a defensive advantage against historical raids, but more importantly, it established a powerful spiritual presence over the entire region. It is a beacon of Tibetan Buddhism, a point of stability in a vast and often chaotic landscape. The architecture is a classic example of Tibetan design, adapted to the extreme terrain. Buildings cling to every available ledge, their foundations anchored deep into the rock. The various halls, chapels, and living quarters are connected by a labyrinth of open-air staircases and narrow stone-flagged pathways. One wrong turn could send you tumbling down the mountainside. Life here demands sure-footedness and a healthy respect for gravity. Inside, the monastery is a vibrant world of color and sound, a stark contrast to the barren landscape outside. Prayer halls are filled with ancient murals, "Thank us," and the resonant chanting of monks. But you're never far from the edge. A window in a prayer hall might open onto a sheer drop, a constant reminder of the monastery's precarious perch and the vast emptiness of the valley below. Living at this altitude is a challenge for the human body. The lower oxygen levels, the extreme temperature swings from day to night. The powerful UV radiation, it's a hostile environment. The monks have adapted over generations, their lives governed by the rhythms of the sun and the seasons. Their existence is a testament to human resilience in the face of extreme environmental pressure. Disket Monastery is more than a collection of buildings. It is a sky fortress, a spiritual citadel that has stood for centuries against the forces of nature and time. It represents the human need to find meaning and create order in even the most formidable corners of our planet. It's a place where the earth literally meets the sky, and where faith is the foundation holding it all together. For our final location, we travel to a place that is, without question, one of the most inaccessible and dangerous places of worship on Earth. In the Tigray region of Ethiopia, carved into the face of a vertical sandstone spire, is the Church of Abuna Yematagu. This is not just on a cliff, it is the cliff. It sits at a staggering height of nearly 2,580 meters, and getting there is a terrifying act of faith. There is no path. There is no staircase. The only way to reach this church is to climb. You must first scale a sheer 6-meter rock wall, using nothing but handholds and footholds worn smooth by centuries of use. This is just the warm-up. After that, you have to inch your way across an extremely narrow, exposed ledge with a gut-wrenching 200-meter drop directly beside you. One gust of wind, one moment of panic, and it's over. Local priests and worshippers, including mothers with babies on their backs, make this climb regularly. They do it with a serene confidence that is both humbling and terrifying to witness. For them, the perilous journey is an integral part of their worship. It is a physical test that purifies the soul before entering the sacred space. They believe that God will protect them on the cliff face. Once you survive the climb and pull yourself into the entrance, you enter another world. The church is hewn directly from the living rock. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, the pillars, it is all one single piece of stone. The interior is surprisingly bright, illuminated by the single entrance, and covered in remarkably well-preserved frescoes dating back to the 5th century. The dry, high-altitude air has kept them vibrant for over 1,500 years. The very act of creating this church is almost beyond comprehension. Imagine workers, suspended by primitive ropes on this sheer cliff face, chipping away at the sandstone with simple hand tools. They weren't just building a structure, they were hollowing out a sanctuary from the heart of the mountain itself. The level of skill, bravery, and unwavering faith required is simply monumental. Why here? Why choose a location so impossibly difficult and dangerous? The founders sought absolute safety from enemies and a place of profound isolation, where their connection to God would be unfiltered and absolute. By placing their church in the sky, they created a sanctuary that was as close to heaven and as far from the troubles of the earth as they could possibly get. The church represents a fragile, almost non-existent boundary between humanity and the sky. When you stand inside, you are surrounded by the mountain, but the open doorway frames a view of pure air and distant peaks. You are simultaneously inside the earth and floating in the clouds. It's a profoundly disorienting and deeply spiritual experience. Abuna Yematagu is the ultimate expression of faith overcoming fear. It is architecture at its most extreme, a place where the line between devotion and deadly risk is blurred. It's not just a hanging house of worship, it's a testament to the idea that for some, the path to the divine is not meant to be easy, but a trial that tests the very limits of human courage. From the vertiginous monasteries of the Himalayas to the sky-high churches of Ethiopia, we've seen how humanity has not just adapted to the world's most extreme edges, but has thrived there. These cliff dwellings are more than just homes. They are a testament to human courage, ingenuity, and the relentless drive to survive in the most extreme places on Earth. They are symbols of faith, community, and an unbreakable connection to the natural world, etched into the very stone of our planet. Each location tells a unique story of why people would choose to live on a precipice. Whether for defense, for spiritual isolation, or simply because the landscape offered a unique opportunity for shelter, the results are awe-inspiring. They challenge our modern notions of comfort and safety, reminding us of a time when survival was a daily, conscious act. These structures are a powerful legacy, proving that with enough determination, we can find a home almost anywhere. These places force us to confront our own limits and ask ourselves what we are capable of. They represent the pinnacle of human resilience. So the question is, after seeing these incredible, terrifying homes hanging in the abyss, would you dare to visit any of these hanging houses? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this journey as incredible as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more adventures to the world's most extreme places. Until next time, stay adventurous.